Regardless of K-pop, in Hollywood media, colorism is already pretty evident. If you look at certain series or movies, it is often portrayed that women with lighter skin tones are the ones with the love interest, whereas women with darker skin tones tend to lack a background story or often are just the side character or the main character's best friend. There's many tropes in media that do this, and in many books as well, and it's actually pretty concerning because when you start to look at it, you see that not only is it black darker skinned women who are often the best friend, but in other shows such as Sex Education and many other shows on Netflix, there's always the black friend who's just there for comedic relief or just to be the quirky character with not much of a background. This Hollywood media often feeds the false narrative that lighter skin is more favorable and that lighter skin deserves more roles and representation in media. This is why even if they say that there is a person of color in a series or in a movie, most of the time it's either a light-skinned black person, it's going to be a light-skinned Indian person, it's going to be a white person. There's rarely ever a main character who's dark-skinned and has a background that is complex as it should be as a main character's background. What sparked this video, what ignited me making this colorism in K-pop video was when I bumped into this picture of Black Swan. I think they were getting ready for a performance and all the girls were together taking a picture. And then I took a look at Fatu because I was looking for Fatu and I couldn't find her. Then I took a look for her, I was looking for her scoping. Then I took a look at her, I saw her and I was like, wait a minute, who is this? Who is this? This is not Fatu. Who is this? This person is gray. Fatu looks like this. Who is that? No ways did they try to whitewash Fatu. No ways did they whitewash all of them because all of them looked particularly pale, particularly unnaturally white. It also raised the question in my mind, is this just the whitewash filter or did they actually apply white foundation on her? Because it wouldn't be the first instance and it wouldn't be the last. There is so many times where stylists have added a white foundation on someone and you can see the two tones between their neck and their face, where that face is white but their neck is like tan, it's like or like light, like darker than that white face. And I'm like, colorism. Colorism, it's a disease. As I mentioned earlier, lighter skin is seen as more favorable, therefore building part of the beauty standard. Now, beauty standard and beauty is two different things. The beauty standard is obviously what has become apparently a general portrayal of what true beauty is. Whereas I believe beauty is how people express themselves and how they can make themselves feel good and confident. And that's what I stand for. I stand for people's unique beauty and everything like that. So now, because white lighter skin has become part of the beauty standard, it is also true to say that in East Asia and Asia in general, light skin is the beauty standard. You know, you have many countries in Asia that seem to favor more lighter skinned people and is shown in their media that I, as someone who's not in Asia, not in that country, would start to believe that everyone in that country is light skinned like that. And then you get to realize later on when you watch documentaries and you read articles that they actually also have a range of skin tones just like every other person in this planet, and that their darker skin tones are actually often not represented in media. And this is where K-pop comes in. Now let's think of the first thing that clearly shows colorism: whitewashing. Often K-pop idols are whitewashed in their pictures, images, shoots, music videos, anything like that, even lives. There's even something called a snow filter app, I think, the snow app. I'm not sure, I'll get you the correct name. The fact that lighter skin or pale skin is the beauty standard in East Asia means that K-pop idols, who are meant to represent everything that is beauty, picture perfect, and just the most perfect human being, should fall into this beauty standard, which is why I believe that oftentimes their pictures are actually whitewashed. The mindset of K-pop is that money needs to be made, and I think that the only way for them to make money is by representing what the normal person on their daily life cannot achieve: perfection. And if their beauty standard includes white, light, pale skin, obviously their first thought is to always have people who are white, light, and have pale skin. This means that when people with genuine talent who are naturally tan, or people who are just people, are not white, light, or pale skin, they will obviously get hate from netizens and stuff like that. This will probably not fit into the company's ideal standard of beauty for what they want to represent in media, therefore making idols go through procedures, editing their photos, and just making them look borderline unrealistic to fit into this beauty standard. An example that I can think of right at the top of my head of someone who's really talented but they're actually naturally tan is Lucas from NCT. Now, in this image, you can see that this man is naturally tan. This man is like caramel. This man is beautiful, like smooth skin, everything is beautiful. And then in this image, you see that Lucas is looking completely different. And I remember seeing this and I was like, who is that? Who is that? Well, the very first example I can think of when I'm thinking of colorism is when I think of how there's been instances that I've bumped into by mistake actually, where EXO was being colorist towards Kai. You'd have them saying things like, not any specific member right now. I'm not speaking as any specific member because I can't think of it at the top of my head. But you'd have a certain member saying that Kai was so dark they couldn't see him, or they call Kai Black Kai or something, or that Kai in one of the music videos, I think, or photo shoots, that he should have represented an African American since he's already so dark in the first place. And I remember hearing this, and I watched this on YouTube, and I was like, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right here. What did he just say? And I was like, wait, he was just colorist, because it felt so demeaning. It felt like they were demeaning Kai for the fact that he's tan. He's not even dark. You can't even say that he's dark, he's tan. So it was really crazy to me. And I was thinking, if Kai is dark, what am I? As you can see, I'm pretty melanated. I've got a lot of melanin in my skin and I'm proud of it. I love my skin. So it's just weird to me when people call someone as light as Kai dark, so dark that they can't see him, that I think, okay, what would you say about me? And it's just crazy to me that it's actually something that actively happens. And right now, as we speak, in this year, whitewashing still happens. Now, whether it's the company, whether it's the photographer, whether it's the stylist, whether it is a fan site, whitewashing is happening and a lot of people are supporting it. On the flip side, you get people saying, do not dark wash pictures, do not dark wash pictures. And I have to sit down and say, babe, these people are they're naturally tanned. They are going to be tanned. You cannot say someone is dark washed because they're naturally tanned. What we're saying is that don't erase their natural skin tone, because that can build a ground for people with insecurities. That can create insecurities for people who are naturally dark, seeing someone that they kind of idolize and that they look up to, their celebrity being whitewashed. So then they believe, oh, okay, if my celebrity is looking this pale and I look like this, why do I look like this? There are mindsets like that. That's what I'm saying. Whitewashing can have a negative connotation, whether the intentions of the person who whitewashed the images were pure or not. Now, one thing we need to remember though, that I am pointing out whitewashing, but I am not in any way saying that pale skin is terrible. People are born with pale skin. People are beautiful with pale skin. If it's a natural thing, it's their natural thing. That is okay. There is nothing wrong with being pale skinned. I think y'all are beautiful. Mwah. We love it. We love skin. We love any type of skin. That sounds weird. That sounds so weird, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. There are idols such as Suga, such as Dahyun, who are naturally pale and they look beautiful. No one has ever said anything about them. They look good. The negative connotation is when you will, for example, someone will, for example, put Dahyun next to Jiho and be like, oh, look, Jiho is so dark compared to Dahyun's pretty skin. That is what we have a problem with. That is what we say is colorism, because now you're comparing people who are of the same race, same ethnicity, but because they're different tones, now all of a sudden one is less beautiful than the other. Where's the mindset? Does that make? As a matter of fact, colorism in East Asia, specifically Korea, I think, it stemmed from the fact that the poor class of people back in the day, the poor class of people were always the one who were working outside, and therefore that skin naturally became more tan. Whereas people who were considered more rich and on a higher class, the upper class men, were always in the shade, and therefore they always had pale skin. So pale skin would represent beauty back then, because it represented wealth and a high social class. And this is why it became the beauty standard, and I think that's why people always strive to be pale, to be white. And this is why you have things in shops that are like whitening creams, whitening face washes, brightening, skin purification. I don't know, there's different things in the shops, and it just feeds into the narrative that people are colorist and that people have a negative connotation against dark. To end this video off on a positive note, do remember that, like I said earlier on, beauty is how people express themselves and how they feel most confident. Beauty is not pale skin, beauty is not dark skin, beauty is how you are as a person. And if you feel beautiful, you are beautiful, and I believe that. Yeah, if you guys want to know more about like culture appropriation, stuff like that, do check out my 2 videos on my channel. They're actually my most popular videos, and yeah, please go watch them. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you support me, yes, please subscribe, like this video, comment. As you guys know, I love to read every comment. I do not mind. And thank you so much for watching this video this far. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I cannot believe this channel has grown as much as it has. And yes, I think that is it for this